Okay, 24. Some people believe that saying that an organization is hierarchical says everything there is to say about how that organization operates. All bureaucratically controlled organizations are hierarchical. Yet the Public Works Department, although bureaucratically controlled, operates quite differently than most other bureaucratically controlled organizations operate. If the statements above are true, which one of the following must also be true on the basis of them? So they told us, hey, all bureaucratically controlled organizations are hierarchical. So if these are all the bureaucratically controlled organizations, right, they also all have to be hierarchical. Hierarchical. So let's say this is the hierarchical organizations, and here are the bureaucratic ones. Next, some people believe that, yet the Public Works Department. Okay, I think this is everything that they said that we can really diagram. We do know that the Public Works Department, right, operates differently than most. So let's say most is everything outside of this circle, but still in the bureaucratic circle. So let's say this is how the Public Works Department, right, operates. Okay, if the statements above are true, which one of the following must also be true on the basis of them? A, the Public Works Department operates more like a non-bureaucratically controlled organization than like a bureaucratically controlled organization. Ooh, so they told us that they operate differently, but they didn't tell us that they operate more like a non-bureaucratic organization, right? So we don't know whether that's true, so we can cross that one out. They never tell us, whether it's closer to a non-bureaucratic organization or not. It just operates differently, right? We just know that it operates differently. That doesn't necessarily equate to it operating more like an organization that's non-bureaucratically controlled, right? B, any organization that is hierarchical is bureaucratically controlled. Ooh, not necessarily. That is why we made hierarchical the bigger circle here, right? We just know that all bureaucratically controlled organizations are hierarchical. So if it's a bureaucratical organization, then it's hierarchical, right? So we can draw a conditional statement like this, where being bureaucratic is the sufficient condition and hierarchical is the necessary. That doesn't necessarily mean that we can write this statement the other way around, right? If it's hierarchical, we don't know whether it's necessarily bureaucratic, so that does not work. So we can cross out B. From the fact that a given organization is hierarchical, nothing can reliably be concluded about how that organization operates. Nothing is kind of strong here, right? Do we know that nothing can reliably be concluded about that organization? Not necessarily, right? I don't feel great about that one either, so I think I'm going to cross that one out too. D, not all hierarchical organizations operate in the same way. Ooh, we know that that's true, right? Because we know, hey, this is under hierarchical organizations because it's in that big circle, but we know that that operates from all the other, from most other bureaucratically controlled organizations, right? So we know even there we have two different ways of operating. So D is definitely true, and it's a weaker answer, right? Not all, that's a low bar. Not all organizations could mean just one is different, right? And we know that at least one is different, right? Because the Public Works Department operates quite differently, right? So D, that condition is met, right? That low bar has been met. So D is a great answer choice. Let's check out E. Whether or not an organization is bureaucratically controlled has nothing to do with how that organization operates. Has nothing to do with how that organization operates. That's again very strong, and I don't think we can prove that with a stimulus. Yeah, something being bureaucratically controlled, we don't know whether it has nothing to do with how that organization operates. There's nothing in the stimulus that, implies that, or lets us really think that. So E is also not a great answer choice. I'm trying to see if there's any specific part that I can tie E back to, but I don't think I can. I mean, they even tell us, some people say that, an organization being hierarchical says everything about how that organization operates. So if that's true, right, then at least some people think that whether an organization is hierarchical impacts how organizations operate. But that's just what some people believe, right? That's not even what's actually true necessarily. But that would contradict E kind of in what people believe, at least. But E definitely isn't directly implied anywhere, right? So E is definitely not a good answer choice. So our correct answer choice here would be D.